Hey everyone, welcome back to Bachelor Happy Hour. I'm Joe.
And I'm Serena.
And we are back today with another episode. We are going to have Leslie on the podcast, but before we do, we're going to do a little 5-minute recap because they've changed the show a little bit midway, which we kind of knew was coming. We didn't know $500,000 was going to be on the table, but now that it is, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. We haven't been doing our recaps because there's been so many contestants to talk about via interviews, and we hope you guys have been loving that. But we wanted to share some of our thoughts on what's been going on this season. And we feel like with the introduction of the game component, this is a perfect time to do so. So, Joe, what do you think?
I enjoy it. I mean, I love the idea of adding the money element into the show because now we get to see like who's really into each other and who is somewhat full of shit, because when it comes down to it, I'm assuming, I don't know, but I would assume there's going to be an element where it's like either you're going to choose the person or you're going to choose the money. That's where my head's at. And now like it's almost like we're getting, now they really have to like real time solve problems and like work together, because they both like $500,000's a lot of money. If it was like whatever, if it was, I mean, that's a lot of money to win.
That's life-changing money. It's not like it's, $5K. Not that that's not, significant, but it's not $500,000.
Yeah.
No. I mean, like, it's not going to make me, question love or money if it's $5,000. Like, I'm going to go for love, but like, I think $5,000 or $500,000 can really, make some people sit and think what they really want to do.
Well, yeah, because it comes into play of like $500,000 is life changing for most people, except for Kim, who doesn't give a fuck, which was awesome.
Yeah, Kim was like,
it's like, I don't care.
I don't care about the money. Yeah. I'm literally just here to find love.
For most people, it is. So when it comes down to it, I think you may have to like, you're going to sit there and think like, oh, well, I've known this person for 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks. Will they flip on me for the money? Like, should I be flipping on them for the money? But we don't know if it's going to get to that point.
We don't. We're just speculating. Right now, obviously, it's teams of 2. So if one couple wins, does that mean that they split the money? Does that mean that they compete against each other? Does that mean one of them gets it? So there's definitely still some unknowns at play here with this new format. I feel like when the season started with so many changes, it felt a little bit overwhelming. And now a few episodes in, there's obviously a few things I missed just because I'm nostalgic and sentimental from being on the original Paradise. But there's a lot that I really like about it and I'm enjoying, and things that I'm glad they changed. So I feel like with this first episode, with the money and the competition element, I'm still kind of settling in to the new format, I feel like, and developing an opinion on it. But I will say I really liked this first game. I thought it was kind of the perfect balance of light and fun, but also still very telling and revealing and putting these couples to the test. Like, that's what I want the games to do. Like, I want to stir up a little, I don't know, like drama amongst the couples. And we see that with Parisa and Brian right away. Like, it's not going well. And they're basically like, are we not a good couple? And it's fun because it's in line with the fact that they've been having a lot of arguments throughout the show.
Yeah, they seem to have a lot of issues pretty early on. We do see Jeremy takes a big bet, which I enjoyed watching. Like, that was fun.
That was shocking to me. I was so stressed watching that, but I mean, it paid off, so I have to respect it.
Well, I wonder if he knew. I wonder if they knew, and I don't think they did.
His interview made it seem like he had no idea, but then Bailey's interview made it seem like he did know.
That's not where I was going,
No, I don't know, obviously.
Well, you didn't let me finish talking, so how would you know?
Sorry, proceed.
You're okay. My point was, I wonder if they knew that they were going to have the power to eliminate someone before.
I don't believe they did.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I think that was introduced.
So that makes it even a bigger risk. Like, what I'm saying is I could see taking that risk knowing that you're going to get the power, but taking that risk solely for a date or potentially going home is a pretty big risk.
Yes, and I think that the best position in those games, in my opinion, at this point is like Dale and Kat, where they came in second, so they're safe, right? Like, they're in the top 3. They don't get the date, but like they're safe.
Yeah.
So, but also it's like, hey, if you want the date, sure, obviously the date's great, but then you're also in the position to have to send someone home, and you're not really flying under the radar once you do that. I mean, Jeremy was living for it. He was like, give me all the power. I love that I get to send someone home. But like someone like Bailey might have been like, I'm good to just be safe. I don't want that kind of responsibility. Like, that's way too hard to do it. So
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how that element of winning the challenges impacts the games moving forward.
You actually make a good point, because I didn't think about like flying under the radar, and like Jeremy is clearly not going to be flying under the radar now, because he was very vocal about like, well, in his interviews about like having the power and but like if it gets flipped now and he's in the bottom 3, like I would most likely be voting them out. Like I would be
Right, because they're a threat. You know that they're good at the competitions. They've won one.
I would be trying to vote out. Like, I think they probably should have voted out Brian and Parisa.
Yeah, I would love to know more insight into why and how they made that decision, just because I don't feel like it was clear to me.
Well, and now it is now a game, and I'm not keeping people because they have a strong connection. I'm trying to win 500,000 now. Like,
yeah, I'm sending people home that I think can beat me.
Yeah.
Respectfully.
I agree.
mean, everyone's coupled up. So
I
it's
agree.
kind of an even playing field. It seems like, yes, a couple of the relationships are stronger than others, but like no one's flying single. I mean, if Jonathan and Leia, they're the only people that are coupled up that aren't a couple, I'm probably keeping them because I'm like, you're probably not going to do that great at these challenges because you're not actually romantically involved. But then on the flip, they're just friends. So maybe they'll work better together than like a Parisa and Brian who are having issues in the relationship.
Yeah, I think I would probably actually be more scared of 2 that are just friends, because if they could get on the same page and really work together.
Yeah, they can just be partners without any romantic issues involved.
Yeah, get it in, especially because it's like the beginning of a relationship. You're learning about somebody. You could really start getting annoyed with that person, where if you're just friends, you guys are basically co-workers trying to win some money. Last thing we'll talk about before we let Leslie in, Gary, like talk about just fumbling the bag.
Well, and they went home because of it.
I know.
Had he just bet 1 chip or 2 chips, he would have stayed safe in the top 3 and they'd still be there.
Yeah, I don't really understand what I mean. Like, I get when you I get like people make mistakes.
I mean, it was obviously a genuine mistake. He did not, I think he was trying to make it dramatic and be like, ooh, like he like splits his stack and he's contemplating, and you can see everyone being like, dude, what are you doing? Like, I just don't think it was clicking in his mind. What he was doing did not make sense.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it made 0 sense. And I just think, I think Gary likes the dramatics and being on TV and like watching. He probably watched Jeremy make a big bet. He's like, ooh, I wanna spice things up, and it's like, no.
Yeah, there's some moments
you should
to
not
make
have done
TV,
that.
Gary. This was not one of them. Just throw your single chip down and call it a day.
I'm curious if Leslie was able to. And we'll ask her when she comes on the episode right now if she was able to voice her opinion when he was doing that, or was she supposed to stay quiet in the back? Because like I feel like me and you, right? Like if it was me doing that, you would be like, Joe, just bet 1 chip. What the fuck are you doing? And then maybe it would click like, oh, yeah,
but I feel like they can't, because if she's saying just bet 1 chip, it's essentially saying you don't know the answer and you're probably going to get it wrong.
Well, she probably can't. Yeah, she probably can't.
I'm curious to know if Gary and Leslie are still talking to one another, if anything has happened post Paradise for them, and if she blames Gary for them being sent home and why she thinks they were sent home.
Well, she definitely blames him for being sent home. She said, I mean, it's his fault. And she said in an interview, she's like, everyone makes mistakes, so I can't be mad at him. But this was a big mistake.
Yeah.
And it kind of was.
I do feel a little bad for Gary, because that would just really weigh on me, and I would feel really guilty and just kind of silly.
Yeah, I feel bad for Gary in a sense of he probably feels really bad that he let another person down on accident. Mm-hmm. Like he made a mistake.
Yeah, it's not just him that suffers. It's his partner too.
Yeah, which that's a hard pill to swallow.
Yes, but adds a really good layer to the competition element of this show.
Yeah, great. Loved it. Entertaining. Great job, Gary. Okay, should we let Leslie in?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Leslie, welcome back to Bachelor Happy Hour. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Welcome back. You've been on this show multiple times. Unfortunately, you got eliminated. Not really your fault, but we will definitely talk about that.
Okay.
Let's go to the beginning, though. How did it feel when you first got out to Paradise? You know, it's a new format, new location. Were you regretting it at all, or were you happy to be there?
Oh, I never regretted a minute of it. I was so excited. They took us all on that boat. The catamaran was our entrance. I actually didn't know. They just took us, and I was like, "Is this another photo shoot? What are we doing?" I didn't even know. I'm like, "We're going now?" In fact, I missed the memo that I was supposed to be all packed up. And they come get me and they're like, "You're not packed." I said, "Well, why do I need to be packed?" I literally thought we were doing another photo shoot. I didn't know what was going on. But then all of a sudden we're on this boat and we're having so much fun. And I had not met the guys before. So that was kind of fun to meet them. And yeah, and then we walked into Paradise and all these, I always call them the youngins, but they were sitting around and they were so excited to see us. I don't think they were pretending, especially the girls. They were very excited. And immediately we felt like this bond. So it was amazing.
That's good. Yeah. I mean, it looked like a lot of fun.
How did you feel about coming in a few days later than the original cast?
Well, I was okay. So, like, I kind of knew who was going to be there prior to going on. Of course, you hear this person's going, this person's going. So I walk in and I say, "Where's Susie? Where's Allie Joe? Where's Lexi?" And did they not come yet? And they're like, "They left last night." And I was like, "What?" Because I had, Susie, I was on her podcast before, and she's a doll. And Lexi, had been DMing ever since she was on her show, and she's a doll, and I couldn't wait to meet her. And then Allie Joe, we were like going to work out on the beach together. We were like bringing bands. I'm bringing balls. Like we had this whole thing, and I'm like, "Wait, what? They're gone?" So that was a little shocking to me.
Yeah. How was the mood amongst the rest of the cast? Because that was a pretty dramatic.
Yeah, you guys came down
rose
right
ceremony.
after
Yeah.
that dramatic rose ceremony with Susie and Justin.
Their mood was not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet.
I mean, we walk in, it was like you could hear a pin drop. Like we're walking and you kind of, we're walking around the path and there's no talking, there's no, music, there's no music not going, but like there's no energy. And all of a sudden they're just kind of sitting around the bar like this. And we walk in, they're like, "Hi." So it was kind of fun.
Yeah. You guys probably really saved them because their energy was definitely low. I'm seeing so much on social media that the Goldens are like making Paradise. Like everybody loves watching you guys.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
It feels amazing. I mean, I guess maybe it stems from the fact that we just don't care, I mean, I know I'm speaking, for myself and maybe some of the others. I just don't care. I don't care what my hair looks like. I don't care if I don't have any makeup on. I mean, or I don't care what we say or do or, I guess we just don't care as much. And maybe that's why, because we come off pretty authentic and nothing's really forced. And if I roll my eyes at something, it doesn't mean I'm mad at something, but that's just my facial expressions. But I just, I get where they're coming from. I mean, they definitely, I always say it's their show and, their cake. Maybe we were just the icing on it. That's how my mindset was.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of that was what I felt going into the show, and I stayed that way throughout.
Is there anyone in the Golden cast that you think does care? And when I mean care, like really care how they are portrayed.
I think there are.
Yeah.
Yes,
There.
Okay.
absolutely. I just know I don't care.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's good.
going into Paradise, did you have any guys that you were interested in, or any like sparks right off the bat when you got down there?
Well, there was no sparks for me with the guys that we met on the boat. They were like, I could see that we were all going to be fast friends, and and I'll call them my friends now.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think if Gary was on the boat, you may have felt a certain way about him, or do you think because he came down later and you didn't feel a spark between any of the other guys
Mm.
that created something that may or may not have been there?
Oh, good question. Well, I mean, Gary and I met each other at Grant's finale because we were
Okay.
announced. Yeah, so I had met him, but that was all. I didn't text him after. We didn't communicate at all because I just didn't want to do that. So I feel that out of all the guys, Gary and I definitely have a lot in common with our music, the way we kind of grew up in a musical family, all that stuff, and a little bit more in common with him than I did with the other guys. So I don't know. I think it's good that he came down a couple days later, to be honest. Got a time to settle in and not, realize that for me, there was no sparks with anyone else.
Got it.
What was the vibe like when Gary did come down the next day? He comes in with a lot of energy. He makes an entrance. He has a date card. Was there a lot of women that were interested in going on that date?
I think I know Natasha was wanted to go on the date. I wanted to go on the date. I'm not sure about Kathy. Uh, she was kind of more focused on Keith. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if April wanted, I'm sure April wouldn't have turned it down. So that was, I guess it was really maybe more between Natasha and I.
Yeah.
What's going on with Kathy and Keith? Well, let me ask a more specific question. On the beach, as a viewer right now, it looks like they started off with potentially a spark. They go to the VIP suite, and now it feels like maybe it's a little bit more of a friendship. When you left, where would you say they were at on the scale of just friends to madly in love?
I think it's just friends right now when I left. The thing is, it's like, at our age, relationships come in different forms, and they definitely have a good relationship, whether they decide to make it romantic or not. I think they have a good friendship.
Okay.
Okay, so let's talk about the rose ceremony. You go on a date with Gary, it goes well. You are going to give Gary your rose, at least that's how it appears as a
Yeah.
viewer. And then Natasha gives Gary the rose. He accepts it. What is going through your mind in that moment?
Who the hell am I going to pick?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
That was going through my mind.
are you upset at Gary for accepting Natasha's rose? Like, does Gary know that does Gary have a good idea that you're giving him his rose?
I would think he did, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it seemed like.
I mean, we had a great date. We literally laughed our asses off. We had so much fun. Everything was just completely the way it looked. I mean, it was raining. I kicked my shoes off. We were having so much fun. We had no awkwardness, no downtime. I mean, we just had a great time. So yeah, I would think he would think I was giving him my rose. I guess I didn't even think he shouldn't have accepted it. Well, now you have that. Now I'm mad at him. No, just kidding. I'm gonna have to call him up. No, I don't know. I mean, you're you know how it is. You're in the moment. You don't. It's just like you don't know. I didn't know that Natasha was going to be called first,
Yeah.
so I didn't think outside of that, and I was really didn't know who to pick.
Yeah. you were in a really tough spot. And I mean, in Gary's defense, because I'm trying to put myself in his shoes, because I would assume he's standing there thinking Leslie's going to go up and I'm going to accept her rose. Maybe he was like, oh, maybe Leslie's going to give her rose to someone else. Like maybe they've already talked and I'm missing something.
No.
But yeah, so he accepts Natasha's rose. How do you stand up there and make your decision?
It was a hard one. I stood there thinking, I kind of knew some of the girls that were coming. Maybe I had an
Hmm.
idea of who was maybe joining Paradise. And I thought, well, maybe Kim would like this girl. Or maybe this girl would like Kim. I was trying to like do matchmaking as I'm standing there because I was not interested in him like that at all. And but that's where my mind was going, I
He
guess.
seemed to be putting himself out there with you a little bit to test the waters. Did it feel flirtatious from him at all?
Mm, I don't think so.
Well, that's a no. That is a for sure no.
Uh,
Um,
okay.
okay, so you and Gary Base, it seems like you guys kind of go back like after that rose ceremony. You guys go back to normal, and Natasha doesn't really even seem to be in the picture with Gary romantically. Is that?
Well, I feel like she was
accurate?
still kind of putting herself out there at breakfast the next morning.
I think she was putting
Yeah.
herself out there, but it just seemed like Gary went, straight back to you.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you guys
Because
were
I
just
did go up to him at breakfast. I don't think I said it in front of Natasha. Um, I did say I just want you to know that, if that had been called first, of course I would have given you my rose. And I
yeah.
actually, after Kim read me the poem, I said, Kim, I appreciate the poem so much. Just so you know, if I had been called first, I would have been Gary my rose, but I chose you because I thought you added to our group. That's what I said.
Okay.
How did he take that?
Fine, I thought. I mean, I think he was like, I understand, I understand, I totally get it, I totally get it. I just wanted to be honest. I didn't want to go there trying to play games and
Lead
make
someone on.
yeah, and plus it's no, I mean it's hard when you're not chosen. Um, yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
So
Did you ever have a conversation with Natasha about this little love triangle that you were in with Gary?
no.
Okay. She never came up to you and said like, I know that you were going to give him your rose, but I want to explore also. There was no
Well, I
communication
think
about
we had
it.
talked about it a little bit, because we didn't know who was gonna go first. But I first of all, I'm not going to tell Natasha who she can pick or who she can't pick. I'm not going to say, since I went on a date with Gary, I'm giving him my rose because I felt I felt like it was still early on and I didn't want her to, I don't know, explore her journey with him. And I just, Natasha and I were a little bit contentious in on the house and Golden Bachelor, just a teeny bit. And we did have a great conversation in Paradise. I really respected her and got to know her story and had really a newfound love for her. And so I definitely didn't want to, it's her journey too. She's there and I didn't want to step on her toes and,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's fair. I get it. It's
Definitely.
kind of like what it's Gary's a big boy. It's on him to make that
yeah,
decision.
yeah, yeah.
And then we see Gary. Gary's the guy down there. We he now Nancy's down and him and her Gary go on a date and they have an outer body experience on chocolate, which
I don't know. I eat cacao nightly, I have dark chocolate, whatever, and I don't get high from it, but maybe there's something in there. I don't know.
yeah. So Gary, like, well, we actually interviewed Gary a while back, and I remember him saying that he was really interested in Nancy or being interested in Nancy.
Yes.
Um, the viewers end up seeing like he picks you. How so? Like, where was your head at after the Nancy date, and how did that go down?
Well, Nancy made it clear to everybody, like she announced before she went on the date to us all that were sitting there. I just want you to know that Gary and I have been talking a lot, and we we have a history, so that's why I picked him. And I was like, okay, I mean, you can pick whoever you
Interesting.
want, like
Oh,
Yeah.
we're,
before the show they were talking.
yeah, I guess so. Maybe more DMing or texting.
Yeah.
I don't know. But she'd said we have a history. So I was kind of taken aback a little bit because I didn't know that happened. And um, although Kathy did tell me numerous times that Gary's only here for Nancy. So I did hear that a lot. And but then when Nancy came, I mean, they had a history, and of course she's gonna ask him out on a date. And again, I'm not claiming anyone at this point, and none of the Goldens are claiming people. And so, I hope you have fun, and I hope he picks me for the rose ceremony. What can I say? I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean, we're all friends, and it's a weird position to be in. Um, but again, we didn't know if like there were going to be new people coming. We didn't know anything. So again, Gary is a doll. I really respected him as a friend. We had a great date, and it's his journey too. So I don't know.
Is it weird that you've been on 2 Bachelor shows and both times you've dated a guy named Gary?
I know. And my our finale was in Costa Rica, and then Bachelor in Paradise is in Costa Rica. I'm like, okay, this is weird.
A lot of deja vu.
After Gary goes on a date with Nancy, do you ask him about their relationship prior to the show?
Let me think. I don't. I don't know. I don't know if I did. I might have.
Okay.
I think we sat down and had a conversation about it a little bit. And, I did bring up the fact that they have the same faith, and, I'm Jewish and he's Christian. And does that play something into his whatever? And he said, no, I've dated a Jewish woman before. No. So I think we had a conversation like that, but I don't really remember me saying, did you have a strong connection with Nancy before the show? I don't think I asked him that.
Okay. Okay. And then he ends up giving you the rose. Was that to be expected, or were you shocked?
No, I mean, I packed, I was ready to go.
Yeah.
I figured he's got 3 choices, and I don't know what he's going to do. Of course, he did come up to me like, I'm giving you the rose, like I didn't know. And,
Mhm.
Again, I don't know how their date went. I don't know their conversations that they had. Um, we weren't really hanging out with the guys that day. So, I didn't know.
That's interesting because I feel like with a lot of the younger cast, most people know. Even our experience in Paradise, like unless there was a love triangle, which at times there was, but for the most part, I was like, I
Have a pretty good idea how this is gonna
yeah,
go.
like there's an
Yeah.
acknowledgement,
Or if it was even if it was gonna be like a friendship rose, like.
yeah,
Yeah.
But with Gary, even watching it, I mean, I didn't think he was going to give his rose to Natasha, but I wasn't sure if he was going to give his rose to you or Nancy, knowing that there had been a history with Gary and Nancy.
Right.
I think if I was in your shoes, I would probably expect him to give it to her.
Yeah.
But maybe that just speaks to how strong your connection was.
Well, I knew what we had. I knew that our connection was really strong, and I knew our date was amazing. I had no idea what they were doing. In fact, when they came back and said they were like, "Oh, we had cacao," I had gone to sleep, so I wasn't in even. I didn't know, So I was trying to remember what Joe said, that he tried to get as much sleep as he could. Remember, you told me that before
I did,
Paradise, and so
yeah,
I'm like, I'm going to bed. I can't do this, you know. Um,
smart.
so I didn't know. I didn't know till the next day. I didn't even know. Like, Nancy, I said, how was your date? Or maybe asked her, and she goes, great. Like, so, I didn't know.
Gary makes some unpredictable last minute decisions, as we see in this episode, which unfortunately leads the both of you to go home. It's it's pretty tough to watch because you're watching it. You're like, Gary, this makes literally no sense.
Yeah.
Um, my first question is, were you able? I'm assuming you were not, but were you able to vocalize like, hey, like, don't put half our stack
I
on
did.
this? Oh, you
Oh.
said, and he just
Well, I said this because we were all sitting together and I was seeing what was going on with that lightning round. And
yeah
I whispered to him, I said, if you don't know unequivocally the answer, like if they ask you how many grandchildren I have, put the whole thing in because you know how many grandchildren I have. But if you don't know the answer, just don't bet a lot because we're up there.
yeah.
But like a typical man, he did not listen to me.
Is that like what?
What do you think was going through his head? Because I mean, he's splitting his stack. He's looking back and forth. I mean, he clearly is not putting together that all he has to do is throw one or two chips down, and it's not going to matter. You're gonna be safe.
Which
We
is
were
crazy to me, especially
we
if
were
you
neck
said
and
it.
neck with Bailey and Jeremy, literally.
Yeah. And do you think he thought he could catch up to Bailey and Jeremy?
I don't
Do you
know.
think he saw Jeremy
I
make a
kept
dramatic
saying
move and he wanted to make a dramatic move? Like, it just doesn't make sense watching
I
it.
said, because I'm thinking, I don't know if you didn't understand. This is only for a date. Whoever wins this, it's for a date, and we need to be safe. We've already had an amazing date, you know. So I was like up there, and I'm thinking, and I kind of said, like, the questions, there is a whole bunch of questions, and it's not like they didn't let us talk to each other. We're sitting next to each other. And one question, there was another question, I think, about sex with one of the youngins or something. And I just say to him, that's a lot, or something like that. That's a lot of times, or something. And I'm like, didn't you get the hint? I mean, come
Yeah.
on. I'm 66 years old. Give me a break. Giving me way too much credit. Um, so oh, you guys, it was hard, but he was
People make
upset with
mistakes.
himself.
Yeah, I mean, people make mistakes. Have you and Gary like what's your status now? Because you guys were technically dating on the show. Like, are you still talking, or have you spoken since?
Oh yeah, we talk all the time. We talk. We were at the premiere together, watching the show in LA. Gary is, I can honestly say, right now, one of my best friends. I mean, he is, I'll call him if I have a problem. He kind of talks me off the ledge a little bit. And we are always there for each other. We have each other's back. I don't know, because we haven't spent time together and we live in two separate cities. I don't know what it could be. All I know is that, for me, a big thing with any relationship, a romantic one for sure, is I want to be friends first because I want to be with my best friend, growing older. And so that is a huge thing for me. And I don't know what it's going to be, but I know that we have special places in our hearts for each other. And that's all I can say right now.
Okay, yeah. Okay, last question. Did he tell you why he bet his chips like that? Like, did he give you a reason yet? Like, is there an explanation for this?
No, I think I don't know. He beat himself up enough after that where I didn't, I think I said, I told you so once, but I certainly wasn't going to do it more than that because I could
Yeah.
see he was visibly shaken and upset. And I'm sure he was thinking, why did I do that? Why did I do that? Listen, I have a family member that went through treatment for gambling addiction. And if he's not a good gambler, that's okay with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
worse things like
Yeah.
Could be
being
worse
obsessed with
things.
gambling.
You know
like
what?
Joe
We
is.
left the show together. I didn't leave brokenhearted. I didn't embarrass my children or my grandchildren. I didn't do any body shots. And so I feel like I left the show in a good space for me.
That's good.
How did you feel when they switched the format and
Yeah, that was
introduced
weird.
this
I'm like,
competition money element?
yeah, the money element to me was kind of not a big deal. Again, I go back to this is the youngins, it's their show, and I certainly wouldn't want to take that away from them. But it was a little different. I mean, we knew that this was it. Like we were coupled up now. There's no people coming and going. So that kind of it takes something off the plate a little bit, like off your shoulders, a little weight off your shoulders, thinking, okay, well, now we can breathe. We don't have to think about another rose ceremony. About then we have this,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
If you were to give someone advice now that was going on Paradise, I know you said, Joe's advice to you was get as much sleep as possible. What would be your advice that you pass down to future contestants?
Well, I took you guys' advice. I took other people's advice. I just really lived in the moment. I didn't chase the cameras. Some people are looking for the cameras and then they wanted to go. I didn't do that because and I'm visibly really not in the show like a lot, which is okay. I'm fine with that. I had my time, the other one, but I would say just be organic and be yourself, and try to stay out of the drama, except that's probably why I wasn't in the show too much, because I tried not to do the drama thing and get rest and just have fun. Really, it was an amazing experience that I'll never forget, and feel like I came away with like 8 new daughters. And I literally, I felt like my right arm was cut off when I got home. I'm like, I miss Parisa, I miss like all these people, and I just I love them, talk to them still, and yeah, I'm a winner.
Nice. That's good to hear. I'm glad you're in good spirits. Leslie, it was so nice talking to you. Thank you for taking the time and coming on the podcast.
All right, you guys, thank you.
Of course. And to our listeners, thank you for tuning in to Bachelor Happy Hour. Make sure you download and subscribe to the podcast.
We'll have new and exclusive interviews every single week. Thanks for listening. Bye.